Hey there, welcome to LSAT Demon Daily. I'm Ben Olson, that's Nathan Fox. We're the founders of lsatdemon.com and our weekly podcast, Thinking LSAT. Valerie has a email here. This is coming to us from Demon Teacher Brandon's Discord AMA, apparently. The subject is reapplying to law school after being academically dismissed.
Yeah, Brandon was doing an Ask Me Anything on the LSAT Demon Discord while we were doing our Parents' Day class last week.
Okay.
Which, by the way, that recording is available if anybody wants. All you need is a Demon free account, and you can view that Parents' Day recording. So this conversation is about reapplying to law school after being academically dismissed. Valerie says, is it possible to get into law school after being academically dismissed? I was kicked out in 2021 for a low GPA. I was let back in after an appeal only to drop out after. I know I need to retake my LSAT, but what else can I do? I dropped out because I got sick. What did Brandon say?
Sorry to hear that. I hope you have been able to recover and are in a better place now. It's really hard for me to say, but I think that if you have a compelling explanation for your past circumstance and a strong application overall, I think you'll likely be able to find a school that will accept you.
And then Brandon continued.
When you write your explanation of your circumstances, take ownership of the issue, keep it concise, and make it clear what you will do differently this time around.
Valerie says, thank you. I'm going to keep trying to get my LSAT up. Undergrad GPA was bad because I graduated during COVID, but I can improve LSAT. So, do we think Valerie was kicked out of law school?
Wait, the subject is reapplying to law school after being academically dismissed, but doesn't clarify where from. So maybe undergrad. Yeah,
Maybe.
sounds like it. Undergrad GPA was bad because I graduated during COVID, but can improve LSAT.
Not sure it matters one way or the other. They're going to ask you if you've ever been academically dismissed from an institution of higher learning, and you're going to have to, as Brandon says, you're going to have to own it. I think if you keep it concise, especially if you're applying with the right LSAT score, somebody's probably going to give you a shot.
That's
But,
the key.
huh?
That's the key. All this is just words, right? You've struck out. You gotta hit something. You gotta get to first base. And the way to do that is to bring your LSAT score up.
I mean, there had to be tons of people dropping out of tons of schools or getting kicked out of tons of schools during COVID, right? So I would probably let them just assume that this whole thing is COVID related.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it happened during COVID. It happened during 2021. So that's 2020, 2021, peak COVID. There's going to be plenty of people who have low GPAs and academic difficulties during that time. I wouldn't make a lot of excuses for it. I would just acknowledge that it happened and then I would move on.
Yeah, that is one thing I'm worried about. When Brandon writes, when you write your explanation of your circumstances, take ownership of the issue, keep it concise, and make it clear that what you will do differently this time around. I agree with what Brandon is saying, but the application of that advice is often misaligned with it. And the people will write, "Oh, COVID made me sick, and then I had a low GPA, and my low GPA was like for 3 semesters, even though, like, what? Just say, I got kicked out, but I got back in. Wait, then I dropped out again later? Jeez. So you must have then gone back again and graduated.
Yeah, that is, I mean, hey, that's people are going to look at that and they're going to go, wow, okay, so Valerie, you have documented problems in school.
Mm-hmm. And you want to apply to school.
You're applying to school. You're applying to a harder version of school than the school you did previously. So this previous school, you actually got kicked out for bad academic performance. Then they let you back in. Then you dropped out.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, you have excuses, and it was during COVID, so I would actually just put it all on COVID.
But what was in COVID? The first kick out or the dropout?
I don't know.
Right? See,
Both
this
of
is
them, but
where
I think both of them were. I think both of
Hmm.
them were, and like I don't think it's unrealistic that you could have had major problems in the beginning of COVID and then further major problems a year later in COVID. I think well, what I'm saying is, how else is she going to get out from under this? So
by saying very little, I think.
exactly, that's what I'm saying. I just wouldn't say very much at all.
Let's move to what you have done successfully since then very
Right,
quickly. Yeah.
right.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I just can't help myself. I want to give Valerie, one further just little word of caution here, which is, what really is it that's going to be different about your performance in law school? I don't think you need to worry about how you're going to explain that to the schools,
This is
but
a for you question.
this is a for you question. Yeah. Law
Yeah.
school is for good students. You have not historically been a good student. So are you really that different now? Or are you chasing some fantasy? And I say this as someone who was not a good undergraduate student,
Mm-hmm.
who then went to law school thinking it would be different. And it was not different. I was not a good law student because I'm just not a good student. I don't really like school. And people who like school tend to get good grades. And so, yeah, like, is this really the right thing for you?
Mm-hmm.
And I understand you dropped out because you got sick and you had academic dismissal because you got sick, but it sounds like you're also fighting to get a reasonable LSAT score, and your low GPA was not 100% because of COVID.
That's what
Nobody's buying that.
Valerie needs to recognize, Yeah.
I mean, probably the first 2 years of your undergrad were before COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think she had a 4.0 during those 2 years, and then it all went south because of COVID. I could be wrong, but I would be surprised if that was actually the case. So I would have a heart to heart with yourself, I guess, Valerie. Like, am I really gonna go love school? Am I gonna sit in the front row, do all the assignments, raise my hand, participate in class, go to my professor's office hours, do my assignments? Like, am I gonna hand in my assignments a week before they're due? Because if you're not gonna do all that stuff, then I just don't think that you're a very good bet for having significant improvement in your law school performance.
Yeah, and look, anyone can change, but do you really want this? I think that's what you're
Right.
really asking, right? Do you really want this?
Yeah.
If you do, then great, but like that means everything. Just all the nitty-gritty of law
Yeah.
school, attending class, taking notes. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't, I just
Mm-hmm.
had, like, I personally had this like fantasy. Oh yeah, it'll be different once I'm in law school.
Mm-hmm.
It was not different. I sat in the back row. I very quickly stopped going to my classes. You know, didn't like the discussions. Thought all the other students were idiots. Not all of them, but many of them. Wasn't interested in the discussions.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't like how the professors taught. Didn't like the reading. I just I didn't do it because I'm not
Yeah.
good at that type of thing. That's not my wheelhouse. And so I would just encourage Valerie to do things that are in your wheelhouse. Maybe it's this.
Yeah. Thanks for writing in.
Email daily@lsatdemon.com if you would like to ask us a question or share some LSAT or law school admissions news. Thanks for listening.